Hi, how's it going? This is Resident of Colorwood for YouTube, back with another Dark Shadows video for you guys and gals. I'm going to do these videos in reverse because, hey, why not? So, here to talk the complex relationship with Josette and Barnabas. I'm also going to talk about a bit about Maggie Emmons to retouch upon what myself, Catherine Gonzalez, and Bubba the Ghost had talked about the night before. You know, here's this marriage that is to unite two wealthy families. Um, is Barnabas in love with Josette? I do believe he loves her. I believe he cares very much for her and is in love with her, but I also think he's obligated to marry her to the sense of it's what his dad wants. But I also think he doesn't. If it were just about what his dad wants, then Barnabas wouldn't have challenged Jeremiah to a duel. You know what I mean? There's that. Um, because as we all know, that Angelique put Josette under spell, then she put Jeremiah under a spell. Barnabas and Josette had a lot working against them, and by a lot I mean Angelique. And yes, Angelique fits that category, the word a lot. Um, she's a witch. She's gonna do everything by hook or crook to get her what she wants, and she did, and she got what she wanted, which was Barnabas. The biggest thing about the trifecta, of the sort of four people involved in the 1795 conundrum of the marriage of Josette and Jeremiah and the non-marriage and the marriage of Barnabas and Angelique. Josette and Angelique are not, Angelique doesn't just work for Josette. Angelique is Josette's friend. Um, she's been working for the Dupree family for some time. You also have Barnabas, who had a past relationship, and I do mean sexual relationship, with Angelique. Was it strictly sexual? They weren't married, but it did involve sex. I don't think this is something that was just, oh, let's dance together, let's look at the stars together. I think they shattered the commandments on the spot. Um, really, I do. I think, my honest opinion, they wanted each other and they took each other. Was Barnabas Angelique's first? I would say yes. I would say yeah. Um, was Angelique was Angelique Barnabas was same vice versa? Yeah, I would say so. I would say her only and his. Now I know people are going to get into the Judas Zachary. Was there? I mean, maybe she was going to give herself to him, and then she found out what he was, and then just realized, no, this is not the guy I want to be with. Sure. Um, you could go there if you want to. Again, that's a whole nother matter. I'm not get this one. At least heavily on this night. This is all about a whole nother matter. So years go by. Barnabas meets Josette. He's going to, he falls in love. He does fall in love with her. Her family's rich. I don't think solely it's about what Joshua wants, because when you look at when you analyze the Barnabas and Josette relationship, and you get into the money aspect and the marriage aspect and the money aspect of the Collins family and the Dupree family, right? More so the Collins family. Um, we know Joshua wants Barnabas to marry Josette because of the money, because it'll make them even more wealthier. It'll combine two wealthy houses. But in the same sense, it's not like if Jeremiah marries Josette, Joshua's going to have kittens over this. He's not, and I'm not saying that because he got turned into a cat. Saying he's not going to be upset by this. He's still getting what he wants. Um, so I don't think it matters so much that Barnabas marries Josette. I think it matters if a Collins marries Josette. Whether it be Barnabas, whether it be Jeremiah. Joshua can't do it, he's already married. So there's that. Um, because think about this. Joshua isn't just trying to. He looks at Josette and Barnabas like, okay, that marriage is going to happen. It's in the back. He doesn't know what's going to happen. He doesn't know all the events that are about to happen, right? He doesn't know Angelique's a witch. He doesn't know Angelique is going to sabotage this potential marriage the way a gremlin sabotaged an airplane in the Twilight Zone, okay? Things are going to go bad. But Joshua doesn't realize this. So what happens is not, again, there's things Joshua doesn't know. But Joshua figures, why just have one wedding? Let's have another. Let's have Jeremiah marry Millicent and strengthen the Collins family even further with more money. And hey, she's a cousin, so cousins tend to get married. Why not, right? And Jeremiah just tells Joshua, and that's why I love Jeremiah so much. He's like, no, that's not happening. He does put his foot down. Like, no, that's not happening. And it doesn't. He's right. Jeremiah does not marry Millicent. Um, so Angelique tries to strangle Barnabas. She cures him of this. Um, Barnabas does not suspect Angelique. Obviously, we have Abigail suspecting the Tory Winters of witchcraft and Reverend Trask. We know that. We know that name. But we also have Josette, Angelique. We have Angelique placing Josette under spell to go after Jeremiah, and Jeremiah is not going after Josette. And Josette kissing Jeremiah, and Jeremiah's like, "You're No, you're gonna marry Barnabas. What are you doing?" He's not even remotely interested in her. This is not a man looking to marry Josette. Um, but the wedding day gets moved up, so Angelique casts yet another spell, pulls her magic out, and Josette and Jeremiah run off. And they go and get married. Barnabas takes the glove, smacks Jeremiah, and challenges him to a duel. Again, do I think their marriage is solely about money? To Joshua, yeah. I think to Barnabas to some degree, but not to the degree of Joshua. I do think that Barnabas loves Josette, because if you don't love somebody, if you weren't just so passionately you're not challenging the other guy to it. If this was just a financial thing to you, then your job is done. That's already happened. Jeremiah marrying Josette is the financial success that they. It may not be exactly what everybody wanted, but it was the ultimate goal to get Josette married to a Collins. She just happened to marry Barnabas's uncle because of Angelique. Um, I do also think that with Barnabas, it's not just love. There is a moment of just pure pride of, God damn it, you took my wife from me. He doesn't say this, but that smack with the glove is like, okay, I'm challenging to a duel. I'm a man, God damn it, and that's something you can plainly see. So there is that proudful moment of, and by the way, when Barnabas kills Jeremiah, Josette hates him. Josette, that look at at Jeremiah's tombstone, that look that Josette gives Barnabas, and Barnabas sort of like turns away, like, I don't have the right to look at her, and all that. That's gold. That's pure gold. Um, okay, Barnabas gets married to Angelique because she cures um, Sarah. Cures Sarah. He keeps his word. He does try to initially back out, but he keeps his word. And they get married. Naomi gives Barnabas and Angelique the house. So Angelique and Barnabas have the old house. Joshua and Naomi are living in the new house. They're living in the new Collinwood. Sure. So Barnabas, we know what happens. We know what the rest is. Barnabas discovers Angelique is a witch by what she did to drive Victoria Winters out the house in the arms of Reverend Trask. He goes to stab her with a knife in a room. She catches him. Oh, I see you want to kill me. Do you hate me that bad? You're a witch. You're like, why would you do this? Because I love you. How could you love after everything you've done, Barnabas eventually gets a flintlock pistol, not in the same episode behind you. And he figures, I'm going to shoot this woman. She's got the pins burying in Sarah's doll. He shoots her. Back crashes, back. I put a curse, on you, Barnabas. You guys know the rest. Back crashes through the window, and the rest is history. Josette gets put under another spell by Angelique because she thinks it's Barnabas too, and she jumps off Widow's Hill. And that is the death of Josette Dupree Collins. Josette never married Barnabas, but the two. Barnabas never forgot about Josette because of what he. If Barnabas could go back in time again, there's two people he's apologizing to. One Josette and the other Angelique. It's basically going to be Obi-Wan Kenobi's line to Darth Vader. I'm sorry for all of it. And he's going to tell them what happens. He'd probably sit both of them down in a goddamn room. He might, Who knows? That would be a hell of a conversation between three people, wouldn't it? If you sent Barnabas back in time and you just got a hold of both of them, okay, let's have this conversation here and now. Let me tell you what's going to happen before it happens. And let's not have it happen. We don't need to do this. Angelique, I'll go with you. Just leave her alone. I love you. And then you have that. Josette, you'll find somebody. You're a beautiful woman. You might have that conversation one day. Who knows? Not saying we will ever get it. I'm saying one day it might damn well happen. As far as Maggie goes, Maggie Evans' resemblance to Josette, Catherine Gonzalez touched upon this very well. That there's no build up to Maggie Evans being Josette prior to 1795, prior to Barnabas getting up. There isn't. No one looks at the portrait of Josette and goes, "Oh, that looks like Maggie Evans." Nobody does that, and nobody does it when Barnabas gets let out of his coffin. We know Barnabas stalks Maggie and does kidnap her because he feels she's the reincarnation of Josette. Maggie proves that wrong, and Barnabas realizes he's wrong. It's a great couple things. The story of Josette and Barnabas is one of the best romance/tragedy stories. Same thing with Barnabas and Angelique. It's one of the best romance tragedy stories. It's Shakespearean at its finest. And the Dark Shadows writers and actors pull it off greatly. Um, that's all. This isn't much of a deep dive. I don't have too much more to say about this. I just, if you think about this with Barnabas and Josette, ask yourself these questions. Did specifically Barnabas have to marry Josette? To me, that answer is no. Did specifically a Collins have to? As long as it was an old enough male. Collins, sure. Jeremiah was old enough. Barnabas was old enough. So there's that. Number 3, the third question. Is Josette meant to die off widow's side? Yes. It's fate. It's fate. Nothing changes it. Nothing changes that. Nothing. Nothing in Dark Shadows changes that. You could say about the Leviathan arc, but I would dare say that once that happens, once sort of Josette goes back into his portrait, I would say history still records Josette jumping off Widow's Hill. Because it's just that. When something is that etched in stone, there's no unetching it. And I know that might be a poor analogy or just poor whatever, but trust me, it fits here because Josette's. Think of the first legends you hear. It's Widow's Hill. What happened on Widow's Hill? Josette jumped off of it. You hear that. You hear that the man who Josette loved calls her to jump. It's not false. That's not false. In a sense. All right, guys. You have a good night. God bless. Take care.